Welcome to this lesson on invisible glue. What are change people really? Who are they? What do they do that's so different? What makes great change people? Well, that's exactly what we're going to explore in this lesson. I've trained and developed a lot of really great change people. We have a change practitioner course here that is just the whole purpose of it is to help organizations build their change capability and strengthen their teams in this area. And I've also mentored people along the way. And the thing I've learned as I've become a trainer and a coach to people who want to be really good change practitioners is they all possess some certain skills that really make them effective. And the ones that are great and makes them so good, I started using this phrase called invisible glue. Because they're really good change people are out doing their thing and you're not always able to put your thumb on exactly what makes them so good. And so I wanted to share with you what I think are the invisible glue skills that are game changers. And for you, I want you to kind of take an inventory as I go through this lesson and ask yourself, do I possess this skill? If I possess it, what does it do for me in my change role? And if I don't, what are my opportunities to learn more? So let's unpack these. The list: influence, system thinking, being a chaos pilot. Wow, that sounds cool. An agitator. Are any of you agitators? And we're going to talk about righteous responsibility. So let's dig in. Influence. Influence is defined as being willing or able to change someone or something in an indirect but important way. Influence is, if you're used to childhood games, it's being the person who sets up the dominoes, but you're not the one that pushes them over. Influence is having the right conversations with the right people prior to the meeting so that when you get to the meeting, the right conversations happen without you having to say a word. Influence is coaching and challenging people to think differently about their actions, their behaviors, take a different action, be on the right side of things. Influence, huge important skill for change people, because we are sitting in a seat where decisions are being made, or as you would learn in our some things we teach in the change course, our change development practitioner program, is a lot of change and influence is just getting people to make decisions, or influence in helping them communicate them, or influencing them to take responsibility, to invest in having a process workshop or helping someone who's struggling. We do not, in our change roles, often have direct power, influence, or control of things, but we are working daily on our teams, in our projects with people who are. And so getting really good at being able to change someone or something in a way that's important becomes a very critical skill, so that the project keeps moving forward, that people know what's going on, that people feel valued and cared about in that process. So think about your relationship with influence. What kind of is a skill for you? And how's it affecting your ability to lead change? Okay. The next one is systems thinking. And really, systems thinking is just the ability to break down very complex things and do it in a way that you're able to simplify and understand what's going on. And you're also able to bring them back together for people. People who have strong systems thinking skills are able to express and reflect and analyze what's going on. They easily are able to take very complicated things like the messy stuff and represent it in a way that speaks to other people, so people can understand, they can see themselves in it. That ability to break things down, explain it simply, understand what's going on, make sure everyone's on the same page about what's really happening. That's system thinking. And the other part of systems thinking is when you see the whole thing, you start to see holes in it. And so it gives you, if you're a really strong system thinker, you see the holes. You see, when we change this, that process that's working today is going to get interrupted. It's going to get disrupted. It might even get broken. So proactively, what are we going to do to ensure that when we get to the other side, that process still works? Who needs to be consulted? Who needs to decide? Do we need to invest in something? Right? Being a system thinker allows you to see holes, anticipate where things are going to break, and bring the conversations and the decisions forward so that we can invest in and make decisions to fill them. Because the more things we fill proactively, the less things we have to fix in the back end. Right? So we talked about aftermath. If you don't have system thinkers who anticipate what's going to break as a result of a change, you're going to be living in a world where a whole bunch of things don't connect together. Things don't work like we thought because we didn't see the holes proactively, and now we're living with them in our current state, right? In our new future state. That's why the middle is messy. That system thinking. Ask yourself, how do I think about things? Do I do that? When do I see holes? And sometimes these two next ideas go together, where if you're a system thinker and you see holes in things, or you see challenges ahead, or you see problems, or you get feedback, being a person who is willing to speak truth to power is a very important change skill, right? Speak the truth, even if your voice shakes. Change people notice when things aren't going right. They anticipate problems. And sometimes, very often, it's scary to be the only one who sees it. And there's some risk that if we point out negative things or broken things, that we're going to be viewed as negative or not helpful, or that our leadership isn't going to like it. They don't want to hear it. And so I have to be vulnerable, maybe insanely vulnerable sometimes, and willing to raise my voice, raise the issue for the greater good of the project, of the team. You know, it's a choice that we make to say, you know what, I, as a change person, I see it and I'm going to do something about it. And that's not always easy, right? That's that work, that being articulate under that pressure, that's a skill set. And you know if you have it, and you know if it's something you need to work on, right? Speak truth, even if your voice shakes. The next one, chaos pilot. Woo, how cool is that? Chaos pilot. There are some people who are very linear thinkers, organized thinkers. There's a place for everything and everything in its place all the time. Maybe not someone who's going to be super comfortable being a chaos pilot. Chaos pilots are comfortable in gray. We actually like it. I say we because I am one of these. Chaos pilots adapt quickly. We actually kind of resist the rules and process and order, which maybe gets us in trouble in other parts of our lives. But the truth is, we're willing to take a step, right, in the fog when the whole path isn't clear. We have an insane amount of trust from other people. They are willing to follow us. We'll take the step, and there's people behind us. Right? They'll get in our plane. They'll go with us, even though they know it's unknown and they know we know it's unknown. They're willing to go with us. So ask yourself, like, what's your relationship with gray? What's your relationship with the unknown? How comfortable are you in that? For myself personally, like, I don't like black and white. If things get too defined, I get bored, and that's okay. That's me. I prefer gray. I like messy. It's awkward. It's uncomfortable. It's hard sometimes, of course. I love the movie, right? In League of Their Own, it said it's the hard that makes it great. And if that resonates with you, like, this is going to serve you very well if you're leading change already, it has been serving you. And if this is a new role for you, it's the part like you really can lean into, because there's a part of you that you're serving a very unique purpose. Not everybody loves gray. Not everybody wants to be a chaos pilot. Not everybody wants to go first. Not everybody wants to lead. And if you are that person, keep doing this stuff. Keep learning it, because it's desperately needed by your organizations. Lastly, this picture, I just love, if, this is not a live class, but if I had chat, I'd love to know why one might put the horse butts in a training class, but I did, because I worked for someone once who told me, this is not a parade and we're not the pooper scoopers. What skill does this have to do? What does this have to do with anything, Courtney? Well, let me tell you, I believe that all change people, really good ones, are wired what I call with a certain amount of righteous responsibility. Righteous responsibility. And essentially what that is this idea that even though it's not my job, I'm going to take care of it. And I can't let it fall. And I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm not going to do it forever, but I see it. And the right thing to do is the right thing, and I'm your person. I'm going to take responsibility because it's the right thing to do. Okay. Righteous responsibility. You know, if that's you, you know, when that's dialed up too high, it becomes a weakness because you're taking responsibility for everything. That's not what I'm advocating. But sometimes we do this, and it's a critical skill, and it makes a difference in your change, in your ability to lead change, to be willing to do what needs done in those moments to help your team and your project. Okay. So this is your lesson on invisible glue, the skills of change. Your homework for this lesson is just go ask yourself, what do I love? What can I grow? What's my biggest opportunity here? This is all about you. Go figure it out.